Hi everyone, welcome to LifeHub. Today I'll showcase this comprehensive system that helps you organize your entire digital life in one place using Notion. This template is built around the PARA method, an organizational system that stands for projects, areas, resources, and archive. This method helps you structure information in a way that's both practical and intuitive. Projects are time-bound initiatives with specific outcomes. Areas are ongoing responsibilities in your life that require continuous attention. Resources are reference materials and knowledge. In LifeHub, these are primarily stored in your notes database, where you can save important information for future reference. And Archive is where you store completed or inactive items. We'll see how all these components work together as we explore the template. When you first open LifeHub, you'll notice several distinct sections on the main page. On the left side, you have what I call your quick access. This part is particularly useful on mobile devices, as it allows you to directly open different views. On the bottom portion of the screen, you'll find three key sections. First is the quick capture, which you can use to instantly create a task, note, project, or area. Below that are your essential views. These are the main views of your different databases and template sections. And at the bottom, you have tools, which includes additional features you can integrate into the template. If you use multiple Notion templates, you can link them here as shortcuts. The advantage of these three sections is that they appear in every view. For example, if I open People, you'll see these same elements. These are what Notion calls linked blocks, which means they're synced across different pages. When you update them in one place, they update everywhere. This allows you to navigate seamlessly between different sections without losing your quick access options. Now let's look at the main area. In the main area, we have 5 core databases: tasks, notes, projects, areas, and goals. Each of these is a separate Notion database that connects with the others. We're using the Para system I mentioned earlier to manage our different areas of life. Let me walk you through each one. Tasks represent what you do on a daily basis, small actions you need to perform. These can be anything from doing laundry to answering client emails or scheduling important meetings. We have multiple views for managing tasks. There's the inbox, which is where all your newly created tasks initially land. If you create a blank task without organizing it, it will stay here until you come back to process it. Then we have today and tomorrow views, which are date-based. Let me show you how this works. If I create a new task called Send Client Proposal and set the date to today, it immediately appears in my Today view. If I change the date to tomorrow, it moves to the Tomorrow view. This makes it easy to see what needs to be done now versus later. You'll notice there's a green dot next to tasks that are on schedule. If a task becomes overdue, it will show a red indicator instead. This visual cue helps you quickly identify tasks that might need immediate attention. Another helpful feature is the priority setting for tasks. By default, tasks are set to medium priority, but you can change this to high or low as needed. This brings us to the priority view, which organizes your tasks by importance rather than date. This is particularly useful when you have many tasks due on the same day and need to determine which ones to tackle first. For example, if Send Client Proposal is urgent, I can set it to high priority. But if Order Office Supplies is less pressing, I might set that to low priority. The priority view then groups these tasks accordingly, making it easier to focus on what's most important. Now let's talk about the process view, which is designed for tasks without specific dates. Sometimes you have an idea for a task that isn't urgent, but you don't want to forget it. Let me show you how this works. I'll create a new task called Research Standing Desk Options. Instead of assigning a date, I'll click on the process property and select Do Later. Immediately, it appears in my process view under the Do Later section. There's also a Do Next option for tasks that you want to tackle soon, but aren't quite ready to schedule. When I'm ready to work on a task in my process view, I can either move it to Do Next or assign a specific date, at which point it will move to the appropriate date view. This system is perfect for capturing ideas without cluttering your daily task lists. Now let's explore the recurring tasks feature, which is incredibly useful for regular activities. Let me show you exactly how this works. I'll create a new task called Clean Bathroom. When I open the task, I'll find the recurring task property. By default, it's set to repeat every week, but I can customize this. If I want it to repeat monthly instead, I'll change the setting to month and set the interval to 1, meaning it will repeat every 1 month. You can set tasks to repeat daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly, and you can adjust the interval for each. For example, setting week with an interval of 2 means the task repeats every 2 weeks. The power of this system is that once you complete the current instance of the task, it automatically generates the next occurrence based on your settings. No more forgetting regular chores or important recurring activities. There is also a month view available, which shows your tasks in a calendar format. Personally, I prefer using Notion's built-in calendar integration with my database, but this view is here if you prefer to stay within the template. Now let's move on to the Notes database. Notes are simpler than tasks. They're just containers for information. You can create a new note, add a type if you want to categorize it, and link it to an area or project. One handy feature is the ability to mark notes as favorites. If I click the Favorites toggle on a note, it instantly appears in my Favorites tab for quick access. There's also a web clips section specifically designed for content you save from the internet. If your note contains a URL, it will automatically appear in the web clips view. This works beautifully with browser extensions like Save to Notion. When you find an interesting article online, one click adds it to your web clips for later reference. Next, let's look at projects, which are a core part of the Para method. In this system, a project is essentially a collection of related tasks with a defined outcome. You can view your projects by recent activity, status, priority, area, or month. Let me create a new project called Home Office Setup to show you how this works. Inside each project, you can see linked tasks, relevant notes, a time tracker, and associated goals. You can add tasks directly to the project, or you can link existing tasks. For example, I could link my research standing desk options task to this project. Now, when I look at my project, I can see all tasks that are part of this initiative in one place. The same goes for notes. You can either create new notes directly in the project or link existing ones. This creates a central hub for all information related to your project. Now let me walk you through exactly how the time tracking works within projects. You'll notice a time tracker tab in each project. When you're ready to start working on your project, simply click the Start button to begin tracking time. When you finish, click End to stop the timer. Each time entry can be renamed. For example, I'll rename this entry Initial Research. If you forgot to start the timer, no problem. You can manually adjust both start and end times by clicking on them. The system automatically calculates the duration of each session and displays the total time spent on the project. This is particularly valuable for freelancers needing to track billable hours, but it's also useful for personal projects when you want to understand how you're allocating your time. Since projects can be linked to specific areas, you can analyze which areas of your life are requiring the most time investment through your project work. Now let's discuss areas, another key component of the Para method. Areas represent the major domains of your life that require ongoing attention. I recommend creating areas for all the major aspects of your life. For example, I might create an area called Home for everything related to my living space and categorize it as personal. Then I might add content creation as a business area and perhaps Korean language learning as an education area. You can create as many areas as you need to cover all aspects of your life. The power of this approach is how it lets you organize your projects within these broader categories. In each area, you can open the Projects tab and link existing projects. For instance, I can link my Home Office Setup project to my Home area. You'll notice there's a status field for projects. Some might be active, while ongoing projects like household maintenance might be classified as ongoing. You can also add area-specific notes and create subcategories within areas for further organization. For example, under Home, I might create subcategories for cleaning and renovations. Next, let's explore the goals system, which helps you track progress on important objectives. Let me create a new goal called Run a Marathon to demonstrate how this works. Goals have three main components: milestones, notes, and related projects. Let's start with milestones. In the Milestones tab, I can add specific achievements that mark my progress toward the overall goal. For our marathon example, I might add milestones like run 10 minutes continuously, complete a 5K race, and run for 30 minutes without stopping. The important part is adding target deadlines to each milestone. For running 10 minutes continuously, I might set a deadline 1 month from now. For the 5K race, perhaps 3 months from now. As you complete milestones, you simply mark them as done. When you return to the main goals view, you'll see the completion percentage for each goal and the deadline for your next milestone. This visual tracking is incredibly motivating and helps ensure you're making steady progress toward your important life goals. You can also link notes and projects to your goals, creating a comprehensive system where everything is connected. Now let me show you the archive system, which is essential for keeping your workspace clean without losing information. I don't like deleting content I might need later, and that's where the archive comes in. When you complete a task or project, or when a note is no longer relevant, it moves to the archive instead of being deleted. This keeps your main views focused on active items while preserving your history. If you ever need to reference completed work or old notes, they're all available in the archive. The final section I want to show you is the Tools area. Here you'll find the People database, which lets you keep track of contacts. You can create new contacts, tag them by relationship type, add their contact information, and link them to relevant projects or notes. The side panel gives you space for additional details like addresses, birthdays, and social media links. If you add birthdays and link your People database to a Notion calendar, you'll get automatic birthday reminders. You'll also find book and watch libraries for tracking your media consumption. You can add books or shows, set their status to currently reading watching, and move them to completed when you're done. Before we wrap up, I should mention that you can customize LifeHub to suit your preferences. You can rename it, change icons using emojis or custom uploads, and modify the structure to match your workflow. There's an FAQ section that answers common questions about using LifeHub. You'll also find a system configuration area that contains all the raw databases, synced blocks, and template pages. I recommend only exploring this section if you're comfortable with Notion, as changes here will affect the entire system. If you accidentally make unwanted changes anywhere in the template, don't worry. Notion has a version history feature. Just click the three dots in the upper right corner, select Updates and Comments, then Version History to roll back to a previous state. That's a comprehensive overview of LifeHub, your all-in-one system for organizing your digital life in Notion. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you have any questions or encounter issues, feel free to reach out and I'll be happy to help. Thanks for watching.